Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is stock chart analysis. We're going to take a look at JC Penney this morning. We're going to look at the weekly and then the daily chart. So we're going to start off here with the weekly chart, and the data that I have. Excuse me, a little froggy in my throat there this morning. The data I've got is through last Friday on the weekly chart, so that should be fine. But let's take a look at all of the trading on this that I've got all the way back to the beginning of 1980. So, major uptrend here. And it's interesting that JC Penney peaked out a year and a half before the Dow did in June 1998, prior to the Dow's peak in January 2000 and the NASDAQ in March 2000. And then it rolls over and it bottoms down here in December of 2000, again about a year and a half, year and 10 months before the market bottoms in 2002. And then it rallies up, and where does it appear in March 2007? Again, ahead, the Dow peaked in October 2007. So JC Penney leads, it looks like. Now here's what this looks like from a big picture. Let me zoom out just a little bit. This just looks like an A, B, C, like we're still doing some major corrective action because we've come from a long way. Now, granted, right here is almost back down to the low end. I mean, what was the actual low according to, any split adjusted data here? It's 5.1875. And what's the low here? Pretty doggone close, 5.56. So I don't know that we're going to be able to go a whole lot lower. This just looks like, this looks like a B wave, like a three-wave B counter trend, and it's a big flat because the counter trend move came all the way back up to the beginning of A and went slightly beyond it. And now we're coming back down here. I was actually looking for 5 waves. We may get another wave that comes down and just goes slightly lower and goes slightly beyond 3, or just goes right to the bottom of 3 and just kind of truncates or something and completes it. It looks too clear like a counter trend wave 2 here. This wave 2 is a 38% retracement of this move. Okay, so it's not a deep retracement. And this wave here, let me zoom out. This counter trend right here, in terms of retracing this move, let me get rid of the crosshairs for a moment. This move here, which is what I'm counting wave 3, this isn't even 23%, which is the first Fibonacci projection, that I'd be looking for. So now for this to stay to be a 5-wave count, a valid 5-wave count down, this 4th wave should not go above this first wave here, which is what, 14.18 low. So it could still be pushing higher, but it just looks pretty choppy and counter trendish to me. So this is kind of the picture I've got, and based on this wave count, I would almost be expecting one more thrust down, which means we could go to new lows. It's hard to tell. It's a little bit of a you pull back, could rally and pull back more, but it just doesn't look like. Let's go to the daily chart. It just doesn't look like it's doing that kind of price action. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so it's kind of choppy, overlapping. You can almost make the case that maybe there's 5 waves. It's just not really clear, like a really good impulse wave in here. This is pretty choppy, overlapping, and so right now this is sitting right on a short-term trend line right in here. It breaks this, it's probably going to come down to this trend line. It breaks this, we're going to probably test this low or go to new lows. So right now, I would lean towards the fact that I think this thing may have one more move down and complete a wave 5 down, and either that's going to be the end of the company. Who knows? The company's been struggling, or that's going to be a significant bottom, and it goes from there. So we will see. That's my best take on JC Penney at the time. So where did it close on yesterday? At what, 8.30. Now again, today is May 1st, so this is data through April 30th. Okay, and just for grins, let me go back to the weekly. chart. And then let me pull up a quarterly since we just, or monthly. Pull up monthly because we just had a month end here. So this should be showing April. Yes. Okay. So yeah, so I mean, it's the same kind of picture that I was showing on the weekly chart. And, you know, again, just pretty strong downtrend that this thing is fighting. Granted, it's quite a bit below the 55. But still, you know, I'm leaning for the fact that the trend is still in place and trend to the downside, and we get one more move down in here. This was kind of complex and extended, so this may be all we're getting in terms of a wave 4 right here, and we could be in this wave 5 down already. Let's go back to the daily one more time, and then that will be it. Let me look at this. It's not super. It almost looks like you could have had one, and then a little bit of an A, B, C, flat type 2 in here. And what I'm talking about is in terms of, you know, like a wave. If I were to count this, it almost looks like 1 and a 2, and then a very strong 3, and then a little more complex zigzag 4, and then 5. Okay, so then that would be like your first move down, and then we're working a counter trend back. This could be 2 that looks like it might be complete. We're starting this in the next wave 3 down, 3 of 5. So anyway, I'd be watching for this to break and see if it holds. And what's let me check real quick. What's JC Penney doing this morning? It is basically flat. It's down a half a penny. So it's at 8.295. All right, that's it for today. This has been Joe for Beyond the Shot. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please share it on social media, and head on over to my post if you're watching this, or my website if you're watching this anywhere else besides there. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Gives you free access to the Trade Ideas webpage and a couple other things. So first name and email, and you're good to go. All right, everyone, have a great rest of the Friday and this weekend. We'll talk to you this weekend.